Everyone. Thank you for joining us for our third information session about Delco Gives. I'm Monica Collins. I'm the Vice President for Advancement for Philanthropic Services here at the Foundation. I'm joined on this call by Tyra Bearden, our Associate Director for the Center for Nonprofit Excellence, and Laura Sindoni, our Director of Advancement. And I think I also saw Katie Lichtenstein, our Director of Communications, who joined us. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Foundation for Delaware County, we are a community foundation located right here in Media. Community foundations are places where individuals, families, businesses join their dollars together for collective impact to address the needs of those communities. A classic role for community foundations is actually around disaster relief. We've all seen the tragedy that has happened with the fires in Maui. The Hawaii Community Foundation started a Maui Strong Fund. They raised money from around the world to help the people in Maui, and they raised about $150 million. So they were able to quickly take in the funds and distribute it out to where it was needed most. We held a similar role during the COVID-19 pandemic. The foundation started the COVID-19 Response Fund. We collected donations from the wider community and then distributed them out into nonprofits serving Delaware County. Because community foundations tend to be embedded in those areas, they're able to collect and then decide where those dollars are effectively used. Beyond the extraordinary, the foundation, we do a lot of work in Delaware County. We act as a grant maker, awarding about $2.5 million every year to local nonprofits. We facilitate collaborations between donors, nonprofits, government partners, and other stakeholders. We provide a platform for generous donors to give effectively through charitable funds. We offer donor-advised funds, scholarships, and we also hold nonprofit endowments. And we also, because of our history, how we were founded, we also provide public health programs to about 10,000 folks every year. So we run the WIC program for Delaware County, Healthy Start, Nurse Family Partnership, and we also have a housing program called HOPE. A large part of our work is actually supporting nonprofits in Delaware County through our Center for Nonprofit Excellence. So this is in addition to our grant making. We provide skill building events, trainings, resources for staff, because we recognize that true change in our communities comes from the ground up, from the work that you all are doing. And if you haven't yet, or if you're unfamiliar with the Center for Nonprofit Excellence, I encourage you to visit our website. Our events are all free or very low cost, and they're really trainings on, how to use your board effectively, how to fundraise, HR compliance, how to run a program, those sorts of things. So it's really very useful information. And it's kind of a combination of both in-person events and virtual events. So as part of the Center for Nonprofit Excellence, the Foundation recently conducted a sector scan of nonprofits serving Delaware County, and the results we got back were not surprising. Ostensibly, what we heard from you is that you need help. You're doing a lot with less, and you really need an assist. Funding was a top resource, as reported by the scan, where the majority of the participants have access to funders, but they are having trouble finding new donors. Their existing networks are aging out or overasked, and that there's really difficulty because your nonprofit boards are stretched thin and their networks are in many ways exhausted. And for our part, what the foundation has discovered is that, even though we're giving away $2.5 million out into the community, it's really a drop in the bucket, that we are meeting a small percent of the actual needs of the nonprofits in our community. And this is in addition to the fact that there are many nonprofits who we know are doing really good work serving Delaware County, but don't fit into our funding priorities and so aren't getting access to the impact grants that we give. And, barring the fact that the foundation would come upon a large influx of cash, we need to be a little smarter with how we're spending our dollars. And so this next year, the foundation, we're dumping all of our energy and time and not all of our funding, but a portion of our funding into a big initiative that we think is going to really both raise the profile of the nonprofits in Delaware County and also provide them with much needed cash. That effort is Delco Gives. So Delco Gives is an initiative that has been done around the country by a number of different community foundations. It's a 24-hour day of giving, May 8th through May 9th. Starting January 3rd, the foundation will be opening up a platform that we provide to the nonprofits in our community and inviting you to come sign up through the platform, upload your stories, tell us or describe your work, upload videos, really paint a picture of what you're doing for the larger community. We, for our part, are going to use all of our marketing dollars to blast out information about you and about the work that you're doing to our networks and the wider community. Then, May 8th, we're going to open up the floodgates and invite donors from around the region to come peruse the different nonprofits working in Delaware County and donate to their causes. To incentivize both your participation and the participation of donors, the foundation and our business partners are going to be offering bonus monies for each donation raised. So each donation will receive a percentage on top of the donation. In addition, our business partners will be sponsoring prizes throughout the day. So this could be Joe's Coffee Shop is providing 3 gifts of $500, and they're going to randomly pull out of a hat to pick those prizes, those prize winners. Or Giant grocery store is going to sponsor everyone who works in under environment, and they're going to match every dollar raised who fit under that who fit under the environment pillar. The foundation, so this isn't just an online activity. The foundation will be hosting a number of rah-rah celebrations May 8th through May 9th. Tentatively, we're thinking about kicking off Under Dining Under the Stars, having some activity the morning of May 9th, a volunteer recognition and some opportunities for visibility. But we'll be having a big end celebration at Rose Tree Park the evening of the 9th. That'll feature food trucks, bands. It's going to be a big, what we hope, a big community-wide celebration. And for that celebration, we'll be inviting the various nonprofits who are participating to come have a table there. We are inviting community members, and the community members would, again, come learn about your stories, learn about the work you're doing, and be able to make a donation to you right at that event. And the other part of this that is not just virtual is that nonprofits will be able to host their own events, fundraising events, anytime in April through May 9th. Whatever is raised through those events will go towards the totals for the day and be eligible for those bonus dollars. Giving days, in a nutshell, they're limited fundraising event, usually 24 hours. hosted by community foundations. And I think I've covered all this in terms of incentive prizes. This has really been just a boon for various nonprofits around the country. And it really addresses the key issue that we heard from the sector scan, which is, how do you get in front of new eyes? How do you tell people about your missions? You're often a shop of a small shop where maybe you don't have a development person or a communications person working for you. There's a lot of noise out in the community in terms of competing for attention. And it's just really hard to get new eyeballs on your mission. Oftentimes you may be a shop of one. So, there's only so much time in the day. So this is really a big way of getting in front of new donors. There's, again, the incentive prize money. And then I am optimistically saying that this is going to be the biggest thing outside of sports in Delaware County, and I certainly hope it'll be true. So it's also a chance to be part of something really big. As I mentioned before, this has been very successful across the country. The platform that provides the software for all of this, this is kind of their bread and butter. They run these days all across the country, and this is some data they gave us on just the success. So, it starts off modestly year one with some amount raised, but it really starts to see exponential growth by year 5. And by year 10, you're really starting to see big dollars come in the door. Pennsylvania is actually very successful in terms of giving days. So locally, 2 really successful ones are Lancaster's Extra Give. They raise over $10 million every year. And this is every year, which is really important. So every year they raise millions of dollars for their local communities, for those local nonprofits. Another really successful one is Erie Gives, which they raised almost 9, I think, last year for their local community. And we're very fortunate today to have another successful giving day locally, Give Local York. Kate Harmon for Give Local York, who is actually our consultant for our giving days, is here to tell you a little bit about what they're doing in York and how successful they are, because they also run an extremely successful giving day there. So for us, we're expecting long-term impacts of the project. Year 1, a modest sum, but really we're hoping for that exponential growth year 5. So this is a really, this is not a one and done sort of project for us. This is going to be something that is, we're looking at long-term growth, both for the day, but also for the nonprofits that participate. And I'm going to turn it over at this point to my colleague, Laura, who's going to tell you a little bit about the nuts and bolts of how to participate.
Good morning, everybody. Laura Sindoni, you have received an email from me probably already. You will be receiving many, many, many more. If you're going to join us for Delco Gives Day, I will be your point person for questions and guiding us through this process. So just wanted to talk through high-level eligibility. As we'll see, it's very broad. We are looking for nonprofits who serve residents of Delaware County. You have to be a 501c3 or fiscally sponsored by a 501c3. You need to file the federal 990, or your fiscal sponsor would need to, and be compliant with state fundraising requirements, attest to a non-discrimination statement, and submit a registration fee. So a word about the registration fee. The registration fee will be tiered by your organization's size. So if you have an operating budget under $500,000, the fee is $100. If you're between $500,000 and $1 million, it's $150. And if you are over $1 million, it's $200. And the registration fee is really designed. We've gotten a lot of feedback from the many, many, many host organizations who have done this, that it really helps with buy-in and incentivizes participation. It is not a money-making endeavor for us, but it really has been shown the data is really strong, that the outcomes are better when there's a little bit of skin in the game. And so that is why we've chosen what we think is a pretty nominal registration fee. And all of that money is going back into the day, which then ultimately goes back to nonprofits. So I'm not sure if Monica explicitly mentioned this, but the money raised during Delco Gives Day is going to the nonprofits directly. We are not taking a piece. This, like I said, is not an opportunity for us to raise money, but really to help you raise money. So that's just a little bit of the logic behind why we have a registration fee. And like I said, all of that money is going back into the day, and then all the outcomes of the day go back to all of our participating nonprofits. So I next wanted to talk about a little bit of an overview of what's coming next. I do also just want to let you know we are building in time for Q&A, so I'm sure your wheels are turning. But no, we're gonna talk a little bit more, and then we will allot some time for you all to ask some questions. So I know there's probably questions out there. So in terms of the timeline and what's coming next. So on January 3rd, the nonprofit registration will open on the delcogives.org website. It's pretty straightforward. It should probably take you 10 minutes. It is not meant to be an onerous process, but it is required. And you have to complete it by April 15th. I would highly, highly, highly encourage you all to do it on the sooner end, because as soon as your registration is complete and we approve it, you then show up, your nonprofit profile will be accessible on the Delco Gives website. So like I said, I hope that you'll take advantage of doing it on the earlier side. And then as we move in January up into the day, it's really going to be about getting the word out. We will have a pretty deep library of resources for you to use. As Monica mentioned, our platform provider, GiveGab/Bonterra, they have a few different names. They are the national experts in this, and they have a resource kit available to you. So what's some language you can give your board to use? What's a social media calendar? Really, really good resources to help guide you through the day. Now, like with anything else, if you take full advantage of the resources, they'll be more helpful. So we really, like I said, encourage you to do so, and we will have some trainings on that. We will have trainings kind of up through the spring on some different topics that will help maximize. Sorry about that. That will help you maximize your participation in the day. Sorry. Okay. And then as Monica talked about, any events that you all hold from April 1 through May 9th that are allocated towards Delco Gives will count towards your totals. So what does that mean? That means, when we have our big website with the leaderboards, those donors and those numbers will be counted towards it, and it'll count towards that stretch pool. So from, early in 2024, you're going to want to start planning. If you are doing an event, that should be something you start planning. We will have office hours and plenty of communication from us as we gear up, get closer to the day. And then the day itself.
Well, sorry, let me just, I just want to jump in here, Laura, while you're talking about those events. You don't have to do an event. That's not a requirement, but it really is another chance to get a lot of eyeballs on your mission and work, because it's not only going to be that your event's going to get the attention of your donors, but we also are going to be highlighting some of those events and sharing it out through our network. So it's a really good way of engaging a broader audience. And they can be really fun events too. So bar crawls, art exhibitions. We went to Extra Give in Lancaster last year, Laura and I, and it's just a really fun day where the entire community is involved in something. And so, as I said, it can be a fun run. Really, sky's the limit. Use your imagination if you do decide to do an event. Sorry, Laura. Thanks.
No, that's okay. And then our events the foundation are hosting will be on Delco Gives Day itself. So it's going to start 7 p.m. May 8th and it'll end 7 p.m. May 9th. That's when the online giving will be active on our website. And so like Monica said, if you're welcome to do something on those days or the about 5 weeks prior to, I know this seems like a lot, but as I said, we're going to be communicating with you throughout the process. You know, we have a lot of resources available to us that we hope you'll take advantage of as we work through this together. And with that, I am actually now going to turn it over to Kate Harmon. So Kate runs Give Local York, which has been incredibly successful. She's been working with us to help develop our day. She is the guru. This is a quote of hers that we like. It's true, obviously, in life and with this as well. We're all going to get out of it what we put into it. So I will turn it over to Kate.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. I am Kate. I'm here in York, Pennsylvania, just a little over an hour from you guys. I've had the pleasure of driving up a few times for your other in-person sessions. So before I talk a little bit about Give Local, I want to recap because this is where I think a lot of our questions so far have come from. So the money you're gathering for Delco Give, if they come through on the website on the Give Day, it will come straight through from GiveGab via Stripe to your accounts. The foundation will not touch it. There will be fees removed, but they're roughly about 6%, vary on average with buying tickets to your local community theater, your baseball teams, that kind of stuff. There's also the offline gifts that you can hold on to that you gather in April to the Give Day. Those, you keep the checks. They don't go through the foundation. You keep records of them. So there's no money taken out of that. And then the third piece is the money that's going to come from the foundation with the stretch pool allocations and the prizes. So those are your three big, that's where a lot of our questions are coming from. So Give Local York, I think we have learned a lot of things that help you guys do, what we've seen as successful things here in York. We are into our 6th year. We have raised over 20 million total for our community. That first year we raised just over $1 million. So I'm challenging you guys to do the same. And we have 330 organizations this past year. We're also in May. We're the Friday before you guys. And we have organizations who will just fill out their profile and go from there. And that's it. And they'll get some money, maybe because of, people going through and searching on the list, and they'll get some donations. If that's all you want to do, that's fine. But the more you put into this, the more you're going to get out of it. So our most successful campaigns here in York are organizations that really empower their board to get involved. I know we all know the struggles of getting our board involved. So luckily there's some resources and trainings that we can offer to help you guys with that. Using your board and using your biggest cheerleaders in your community to be the people that share your links, remind other people that I'm giving on Delco Gives, and this organization is really important to me. Those peer-to-peer fundraisers that can speak on your behalf, but also businesses. Maybe your business uses the same caterer every time you have an event that you have to cater, some restaurant or a coffee shop. Maybe you reach out to them and say, hey, so the day of Delco Gives, would you mind offering 10% of your sales that day back into what we're doing that day? Or you could even do April. So $1 from every coffee goes to this organization for Delco Gives. Your relationships that you have made year after year or months after months, depending on the age of your organization, are the relationships that are going to help you be successful on your Give Day. Also, you guys are so lucky. I said this, I was saying how lucky you are in the in-person things. One, because they did not choose yellow as your color, because that is the color I'm stuck with, and not many people look good in yellow. But also, when we started, we did not have GiveGab. We started with a different platform, and we started from scratch without an organization like the foundation to support us. And so we had a very different battle to fight. You guys are coming in with a foundation that is going to raise those stretch pool funds, that is going to provide trainings for you all, and works with GiveGab Bonterra to really offer every single question I've ever asked. They have a support article for it. So the tools, the email prompts, the letter prompts, they have it all written out. So you could literally just copy and paste. And it's a lot. So it's okay if we're all feeling a little overwhelmed. It's okay if we're feeling like, oh my God, I have to do one more thing in the course of my year of fundraising. The tools that you're going to get are really going to make the difference here. And we've seen organizations go from this is never going to work in year 1 to this is the highlight of our fundraising in year 6. So I really think it's important you guys read all the information that is coming to you, attend all the trainings, pick 1 or 2 things that you know you can do well and do it. You do not have to do everything. It's too much. I still don't do everything. But, if you know you have a good board, engage them. If you know you have some peer-to-peer fundraisers, engage them. Make your profile the best, most engaging profile, so that if I'm a person who knows nothing about you and what you do, stumble across it, I'm going to feel why it's important to donate. And just take any opportunity they give you to be on TV, on radio, fight for those spots, to get your word out there, because together it's hard, or alone it's hard to get everyone to notice you. Together with all of your organizations, talking on Delco Give Day and the month leading up to it, the better it's going to be. That's kind of my general spiel about Delco Gives, Give Day, all those things. I'm seeing we're starting to get some questions. This is also my favorite part, because there is so much. If you wanted, we have a question here from Lisa that says, do offering a matching campaign work, or does dilute in the setup? Matching campaigns are great. We see so much success with our organizations doing matching campaigns. It can be as simple as getting everyone on your board to give $100 and then say, here's our board match. And you can actually set that up in your system so that it will automatically add. So say I give a $25 donation, the board match will match it right there in the thing with all it'll just happen instantly. So those matches, everybody likes to give if they know that their dollar is going to go even further. So whatever you could do to get matches, maybe it's, I don't know, some business that you use, like the carpet cleaners, or, someone like that who wants to give you $1,000, use that as a match to get your donors to give more. It definitely helps.
Great. And I see we have another question. So please put questions in the chat. I'll monitor the chat. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the stretch pool, Kate, and how that works?
Yeah, so the stretch pool is money that the foundation is going to go out and raise. So you don't have to worry about it. It's just money that they are going to go get. A lot of times this is from big corporations, big foundations, stuff like that. That's how ours works. And then you're all going to go out and you're going to go raise the money for your organizations on the Give Day. And then after the Give Day is settled and everybody slept a little bit, they'll start looking at the numbers, and the numbers will break down basically based on your donor numbers. So at the end of the day, if you have 0.17%, I actually was just looking at an organization, that was their number, that's why it's in my head, 0.17% of the entirety of donors that day, you will get 0.17% of the stretch pool. So that is just the extra bonus money. So the more money they raise, the more money you guys get. Bonus money coming from the foundation, from organizations that matches. That's why it's important to do these offline gifts, to get more donors. And it's really based on that number of people, so that when we say every gift matters, every gift matters. A $5 donation and a $10,000 donation is still the same number. It's the same amount of people that will get you to that goal.
Great, thanks. So I saw a couple questions. You do not have to be based in Delco to participate, but you must serve Delaware County residents. So your headquarters can be elsewhere in the state, even if you're a national organization, but you serve Delaware County residents, you are eligible to participate. Yeah. Monica, sorry, go ahead, Kate.
And then I saw a question right above that about events. So the way that it happens here in New York, and you guys are kind of modeling it the same way, is so the foundation is going to host like the finale. You guys are responsible for hosting whatever you want to host at your place. That's where the whole you're responsible for your own hustle comes from. If you want to have an open house and you do it on Delco Gives Day, that's a great way to bring people in who maybe aren't familiar with your organization. If you want to have a pop-up coffee hour, we see that happen a lot here. Meet us for coffee from 8 to 9 on Delco Gives, and that coffee shop will donate a percentage of their portions during that hour. You can do, if you want to do 65 things that day because you have that bandwidth, Godspeed. But it is, you can have a lunch, you can have a coffee, you can have happy hour, you can set however many little events that you want to set up that day to bring awareness to you and your organization. And when we were talking about the events that happen in April, that's up to you. So say you have a gala, say you have a fun run. If that's in April, as long as you say, this is now benefiting Delco Gives, you're good to then use those funds and hold them for Delco Gives Day.
Great. And a related question, I see if there's an event leading up to it. Do you want to talk about, so let's say you have an event on April 15th. Somebody asks, all right, do I wait and process all of those payments? Kate, do you want to talk about kind of inputting?
Yeah,
offline?
so don't wait to deal with that. Now, if you have a check and somebody says, hold this check till give day, that's fine. Hold on to that. But if you're doing silent auction items and people have to process, I just had an event the other day and people needed to go through on my Square, and then Square is obviously going to send me the check or deposit it. You can go ahead and deposit the money into your accounts. Just keep a record of it. So we reserve the right to audit anything that might look fishy or something we just want to check. So just keep a record. So if you have ticket sales, keep the deposit, like the slip or a picture of the checks, and then keep that breakdown that you can print out off of whatever you're selling your tickets on. If you have a list of 5K runners and they all paid $20, keep that list so that if we needed to pull that, we can see that and we can check that. So don't hold on to the checks like so that they don't work anymore because it's been 90 days or whatever. Well, we shouldn't do that anyway because you're only raising the money during April. Go ahead and deposit it. Just keep a record. I take pictures of all my checks just in case somebody needs to see it.
And I saw a question that Monica and I can address about it being all of Delco. So yes, some of the events we mentioned are kind of media focused, dining out under the stars, but this is all of Delco. I think Monica mentioned we're doing a live stream at the Union Stadium in Chester. There are events kind of happening throughout the county. So we happen, frankly, to have a stronger footprint in this part, but that's part of what we want this day to do is really activate the other parts of the county and really be a county-wide celebration. So yes, 100% all of Delco, and any thoughts that people have about, getting other communities involved or hosting other events are definitely welcome. Monica, if you want to tack on to that.
Yeah, and I would say so. The two I mentioned are in media, but we have some other things in the works that are a little too preliminary to talk about that are in other parts of the county. So we really are trying to make it county-wide for our participation. So,
and the more events that you guys do across the county, the bigger that calendar fills out and the more people realize that this is a countywide endeavor.
Yep.
Yeah, and I should mention that all the events that you have, we're going to have listed on our website, and we're going to invite people to actually attend those events as well. So, if you are having something in, Radnor or Garnet Valley, there'll be a chance for people to learn about those.
Kate, I saw a question. Do you want to talk a little bit about competition for the donors? And what
Yeah.
you've seen?
So we have seen, we had the very same questions when we started. So I just want to encourage you all that this is all normal, and the confusion that you're having, I'm still confused, and it's 6 years in for me. The donors are donors. So, I mean, at the end of the day, your donors are giving you money no matter what. What I see these give days for it mostly is we like to use it to encourage new donors. So you have a pot of donors, they're going to give you that money. They may move that money to this day, and maybe they also give to 16 other organizations. You can actually fill your cart. So you can do up to 10 in a transaction. So I know I do this. Well, I'll go in and I usually do it at 2 a.m. when I'm trying to stay awake, where I'll fill out and I'll say, okay, $25 here, $20 here. I'll fill my little cart and I'll check out. And so I'm seeing people give actually to more organizations, because as they go in and fill their cart, maybe they're watching the live stream at the same time and they go, oh, I didn't know about that organization. Let me drop them into the cart too. So this is really, you're not going to lose any of your donors. You're going to gain more donors because you're all working together. You're going to be able to search based on cause. So say it's animals, say it's kids, veterans, people are going to be able to pull up the entire list and maybe learn about you when they haven't heard about you before.
And for our previous information sessions, we had some folks who participated in other local Gives days come to, provide feedback on their how well their organizations did. And I can tell you that CASA up in Lancaster County, they said that they got half of their new donors from the Gives Day, and some other organizations reported that they get a third of their fundraising budget from the day. So it really is a boon for these participating organizations.
See,
Oh,
a question, Kate, that I'll punt over to you. Somebody asked about for regional organizations, how to drum up support from people who might not live in Delaware County, or what you've seen kind of with organizations with a bigger footprint.
I think the thing about doing an online give day is that anybody can donate. So I had an organization that I was raising money for one year, where every year we got a donation from Hong Kong because it was a friend of one of our board members. So it's like the furthest distance of any Give Local gift that we've ever had. And he gives every year, because every year that board member says, hey guys, it's Give Local time, and I'm still on the board. So I think if you, just because of the nature of being online, say I'm with an organization and I'm super passionate about it, I'm sharing it on my Facebook, my friends see it, my parents see it, they're in Florida, they donate to the organizations that I tell them to. So I think whether or not you're just, it doesn't even have to be regional orgs. I think if you're a regional org, you have even more tools in your toolkit because you have a bigger reach than other people. They should know that that money will then serve Delco County, but you know, we're sitting here with the ability to reach more and more people no matter where you are. We also, it's fun if you know you have a regional area, do some kind of challenge. You know, are certain parts of the region more philanthropic that day? And maybe, especially if, and this works for everybody in the county too, say you have different departments, different bank branches, or I use that with a business fundraiser aspect, but say you're a hospital and you have different departments. You know, is pediatrics more philanthropic than the emergency department? And it doesn't have to be dollars, it's donors. So I know that the first thing we hear a lot of the time is, my people are people who are maybe, you know, my nonprofit workers are one disaster away from, you know, needing our services. And how are we going to ask them to give? The minimum is $10. So really encourage your people. If you have different homes, different offices, which office can be, it's about participation, not how many dollars that you raise. So there's some really great ways to use the region, use different parts of the county, different parts of your system to make it work for you.
And I just want to piggyback on what Kate's saying. So it is really about volume. The average donation for one of these giving days is $250. And it really is just about gross numbers. So Lancaster's Extra Give sees 30,000 donors. Give Local York is over 10,000 donors. So it's a lot of eyeballs on the day.
Yeah.
Oh, and and it's also, this is really important for a lot of our organizations, sorry, Laura, it's also younger donors. So the average donor to the day is between 30 and 50 years old. So it's really a way of capturing that next generation of philanthropists that we're all biting at the chomping at the bit to get to. So whatever it is.
Yeah, and I would think, you know, the average is 250. My guess would be the median is significantly even smaller than that, right? Because it really is all about volume. And somebody asked, yeah, the participation number, I think we mentioned this, is the one that's used for the stretch pool. We really are focusing on unique. Now it's unique donations. It's not somebody with the going in multiple times trying to game the system a little bit, but.
And so, and the way that we track unique, because this is always a question, is emails. So if you're doing a 5K, so if you're doing these event things ahead of time, make sure you capture people's emails, because that's how we're doing the numbers here. That way I can't go in as, you know, myself and try to be 6 different donors for the same one, because I donated 6 different times with the same email. It's email. There's also, I just forgot what I was going to say. Email. It's okay if you don't have an email. It can still be counted, like if you're doing an offline gift, but do your best to get that. And then with these offline gifts, there will be a button that appears in your system the day of when the window is open for giving, and you have to go in and manually put in each gift. So just remember that. I mean, if you have a 5K with 1,000 people, that's great, but you're going to have to find some friends to help you input all 1,000 of those people on the give day. So just remember that as you're going through. And there is no bulk upload for that, unfortunately. I did put that in as an ask, so I'm hoping for it.
But that would be a very good problem to have if you had 1,000 donors.
Absolutely. Hey, I'll help you if you got that problem.
Yeah, I know. You know, we will donate resources to you if that happens. So,
Monica, do you? Oh, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
There's a question we haven't gotten to yet. Do you want to? Somebody asked about visuals or display booth for the celebration on the 9th. Do you want to talk about kind of how the nonprofits would participate in that day?
Sure. So, as I said, we're going to have a big celebration at Rose Tree Park. It's, it's really nice and nicely located at the center of the county. Each of the nonprofits who are participating will have the opportunity to have a table there. We'll provide the table, so you would need to bring a tablecloth, your materials that really share your information about your work, and then if you should have a pop-up tent, you can bring that as well, or banners or whatnot to sort of highlight your spot there. And at that event, we're going to make it multi-generational, lots of fun. So we're going to have a stage with some bands and DJs, food trucks there, bounce houses for the kids. One of the things that we're going to try and incorporate is dunk tanks, where your board members can volunteer to be in the dunk tank, and you have to give a donation, and then you can dunk them. One of the funny ones that I heard was I can't remember which organization has Jack Stolzheimer, the DA, as one of their board members. So it would be a fun dunk the DA kind of event. So anyway, it's going to be a really big rah celebration. So
I saw another question about registration. So as I said, registration is very broad. It's not first come, first serve. It is the more the merrier. Yep. Thanks, Kate. You answered that. I think
there's no limit. So in York County, we have 1,300 nonprofits. Clearly, we only have 330 participating in Give Day. But hey, if they all want to come on board, that's good. That does mean that the pie pieces from the stretch pool get smaller. But yeah, as long as you meet the criteria, which Laura explained is, serving your county residents, even if those residents are 5, as long as you serve those residents and as long as you meet those, what was it? It was the tax.
Yeah, 990 and yeah, compliant with state fundraising requirements.
Can I just I just wanted to answer a question that came up yesterday. So everything that is raised for Delco Gives is Gen Ops. You do what you feel you want to do with that money, and it's entirely up to you. For some of the larger organizations, they may want to focus on a specific project that they're working on and use that as their story in Delco Gives. Entirely up to you how you paint the picture of the work of your organization. But again, all the money is Gen Ops, so you're welcome to do with it as you wish.
I might just so people can get a view of what this is going to look like. I might just share my screen real quick, so you all can see. This is Extra Give. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
And so this is the same platform ours is going to have. So it'll look pretty similar. And so theirs just finished, so it'll look, different when we're leading up. But up here, you'll see the prizes. So Monica kind of mentioned what this will look like. So 10 prizes of $5,000 each. Nice. Also here, this is what yours will look like. So you'll go to view participating nonprofits. And so as Monica was saying, you could kind of, put in as much as you think will be helpful, but as this organization did, kind of give dollars and what that will go towards, share your story. So they put up a video. So this is just kind of a view of what it will all look like, just so you have kind of a sense of it.
Yeah. And if you have matches and peer-to-peer fundraisers, which you'll be learning about, you'll be so tired of the word peer-to-peer, those will also appear on your profile, so that if someone is scrolling just to learn about you and your efforts, they're going to see how involved you are, and what the matches are and the other ways to get involved are as well.
Laura, can you share your screen again and just show the nonprofit page? I think they have it still up.
Yes. All right.
Just to give you a sense of all the resources that are going to be available to you.
The toolkit. Sure.
Yeah, the toolkit. So there's registration, information about the training sessions, key dates, but we really will provide you with a communications guide. It has a calendar, it has language. I mean, it's a lot of resources for you, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Take what we have, make it your own, use that, spread the word.
And if there's something that you think, man, it would really be helpful if, ask, because odds are GiveGab has it, or I have it. And, as Monica and Laura have already found out, like, I will give it to you. We'll just change Delco Gives instead of Give Local York, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah. And actually, I do want to mention something that's an added benefit. As I said, Delco or participation in Delco Gives, it's just free marketing dollars for you. And as part of that, we're going to be having a live stream at the Union Stadium. And so this is going to be a little bit like Good Morning America. There's going to be 2 folks who are going to be our hosts for that. And throughout the day, they're going to be interviewing various nonprofits who are going to tell about their mission. Providence Animal Shelter would bring on a dog and everyone would say, oh, how cute that dog is. And, they get to tell their story. And we're also going to be interviewing different sponsors. So Wisfis Bank might come on and their president would say, why they're giving to Give Local York. But you're going to have eyeballs of elected officials, corporate partners that are involved in the day, and just the wider audience through all of these means. We're also going to be highlighting different nonprofits that are really, doing something spectacular leading up to the day. So again, just free eyeballs on your work.
And I do want to clarify, somebody asked a question. Let's say you hold a virtual event and the Delco Give, the website will only be accepting online donations from May 8th to May 9th. But somebody asked, if I do a virtual event where I get donations, can I treat that as an offline donation? And they can, right, Kate? They would just have to manually input. It would have to be clear that all of it goes to Delco Gives Day. So any event or any virtual event, any fundraising you do, it has to be clear that that's where it's meant to be allocated. And then you would have to manually input those gifts as offline gifts. Did I say that correctly, Kate?
Yeah. And we see that a lot with people asking about, like Facebook, you could do like, it's my birthday and I want to raise $250 for so-and-so. That's fine. Just note, it has to be like, if it keeps going after, like those won't count. So it's only just what you would have that. Like if I started my birthday thing on April 1st, it's whatever it has on the 7th and 8th that would count. How do we volunteer to be available for those types of opportunities? Sherry, I'm not sure I understand your question, but it's also an opportunity. But that made me think people are gonna see you on the live stream. They're gonna see you about this to give money to you. But there's also the idea of getting the word out about your services. Some people are gonna learn about you for the first time, and they may not give you money this year, but maybe they will next year, or maybe it's someone who actually needs your services. We this year had one of the most remarkable stories happen during our live stream. A gentleman who runs a nonprofit based on suicide prevention and mental health, in honor of his daughter who passed away last year, was talking about his organization, and a woman turned on her computer and saw him speaking. And then she ran into him later when he was out and about at one of our events at a table, and she went up to him for help because she had woken up that day thinking that she would end her life. But because she saw that live stream and then saw him again in that in-person event, they were able to connect. So it's not just all money, even though that's the good part of the day. You're going to be learning about, other people are going to be learning about you maybe for the first time. Thank you, Sherry. As you guys are gathering opportunities, as the foundation is getting these opportunities for you, whether it be live stream, here, some of our TV stations will feature people. Those will come out to you. They will email you about those opportunities. That's why it is very, very important to make sure that you are reading the emails coming from the foundation. Those will be where the opportunities to sign up to be somewhere in person, to sign up to be on the live stream. Any of those things are going to be sent via email.
And I want to also mention here that the foundation is going to be having a number of training sessions for Delco Gives, but Some of them will be direct training sessions for Delco Gives, how to register, how to click the buttons, how to use the guides, et cetera. But we're also going to have a number of training sessions through the Center for Nonprofit Excellence that are applicable not only to Delco Gives, but just in your broader work in general. So we have a program in January that'll be how to build a fundraising operations plan for the year. Of course, there'll be a part of it that incorporates Delco Gives into your fundraising operation plan, but that'll be the one in January. And then we're having a program in February, which is how do you tell your story? How do you craft your message? And in particular using social media as a medium. And then we'll also have a program on getting your board engaged. So how to really leverage Delco Gives to encourage board engagement. So keep an eye out definitely for those programs that are coming up.
Read everything. You're going to be tired of Laura and Monica. I always say that's my goal at the end of Give Local. I want you to want me to go away. If you want to pay me to go away, we'll make a prize that you can win if you listen to me, and I'll go away.
I think we've gotten to all the questions.
I've responded in the chat to everything. So
also feel free to unmute if we missed it in the chat.
And I also, I know that it is a big online day, but I know a lot of you probably only use mail to communicate with people, and that's fine. So send them postcards, tell them to make sure to go online that day, meet your people where they are, and then seek new ways to find new donors and send them all online to give.
Oh, that's a good point. And Kate, we'll also have customizable graphics for you to download. And so let's say you wanted to make a postcard, you can customize it with your own logo and information, print it out, and then send it to your donors. So there's you don't have to hire a graphic designer or do anything like that. We're going to have all that available.
Yeah, you don't have to be the best. I mean, I do everything I do in Canva.
Yeah, I know. And we're going to have Canva files that you can manipulate. So that'll be part of it. If there are no other questions, I actually wanted to end with the video of Extra Give, because I think it really captures the sort of flavor for the day and what we're hoping to bring here to Delaware County. So any other questions from anyone?
There's one more question. Increase the number of donors, not that we're looking to increase the number of donors, not the total number of amount donated. I mean, we're looking to increase both. The idea is we want more donors, we want more money, we want more awareness, but the focus of this day is really on bringing in new donors. So it's not like, oh, this is our big annual fund giver, let's just move their gift from December to May. Like that's kind of a zero sum. That's not what this is about. This is getting in front of new folks. The stretch pool is based on the amount of unique donations, not the amount raised, just because, like we said, the objective really is volume. So the answer is both. We want more money and more donors, but the way the stretch pool is allocated is to the number of donors.
Yeah, and it also, I mean, getting more donations, more dollars in doesn't hurt, because some of the business prizes might be based on amounts raised. So it's really up to the businesses how they want to structure it. So, all right. Any other questions?
And you all should have an email address. We'll be sending out the slides. We'll be sending out this recording. Please follow up with questions. If you have a question, there's probably 200 other people that might have the same question. So don't feel like, oh, we covered this. Just please reach out. It's a lot, and this is our first year. So we just want to make this as clear and seamless for you all as possible. So thank you. All right. Go.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go.
No, that's not their, you got the wrong screen.
No, sorry. Do I? All right. I'm such an old lady. All right, share screen. See if I can do this. Okay.
There you go.
Lancaster, PA, the most generous community in the USA. Lancaster, PA. Lancaster, PA. 'Cause you know it's only gonna get better. Yeah, the seasons know when to change. It's gonna get better.
I give extra.
It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Lancaster, PA.
All right. And as you can see from the video, it's just a big community-wide celebration that everybody gets involved in. So we're really excited to bring it here and certainly hope you will all participate in the day. All right. Thank you for your time, everyone. Anybody else, just feel free to reach out to either me or Laura. We're here as a resource. So thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.